GoPro Hero 6, things you should know before you buy. What up YouTube, it's your boy Jermaine back with another video, and in this video I am filming this video with my brand new GoPro Hero 6. It's been a week now since I've owned this camera, and I must admit that I really wanted this camera at first. Like, I was really excited to get it because of the high frame rates, but the first day I got the camera I discovered that those high frame rates are not all as it's cut out to be, and I'm going to explain that now. So when I first pulled out the camera, the first thing I did was went straight over to the settings, and I changed the settings in the GoPro so I could shoot 4K 60 frames per second. That's the main reason I bought this camera, was to shoot 4K 60 frames per second, because I love 4K. I'm all about the whole 4K thing, right? 60 frames per second will be even better. One problem I do have with the Hero 6, they've basically changed the way that the files are. I believe the files used to be like JPEGs or MP3s or something like that, and now the files are HEVC files. Now these new HEVC files, to view any of these files on a iOS device, you need to have iOS 11, which I have iOS 11 installed on all of my iOS devices. And also you have to have High Sierra running on your Mac. So the first day I get the camera, I'm taking the camera out of the box, I'm shooting with the camera, I am super excited. I'm like, yes, I finally got this camera, I finally got it, I'm doing it. So I go over to the GoPro app and I'm trying to download some of this 4K 60 frames per second video that I just taken on my new GoPro, and I wanted to view it on my phone. So I, try to view it through the GoPro app, and I get this pop-up right here. I tried this on my iPhone 7, and I also have the iPadPro that came out a few months ago. I was trying this on my iPadPro. Therefore, I'm unable to see any video that I've taken with 4K 60 frames per second, or video in 1080p 240 frames per second. I can't see any of this on any of my iOS devices, and I also cannot see this on my computer, okay? Now my computer is a whole nother story. Apparently I needed to upgrade to High Sierra, but when I went to the App Store, it basically didn't tell me to upgrade to High Sierra, so I upgraded to the one right under High Sierra, and then I thought that it would work, and then I realized, okay, it's still not working, so I had to actually Google High Sierra Mac, and then I found this other link that took me to the Apple website, and I was able to download High Sierra. For some reason, the app on my computer didn't tell me that you should download the High Sierra. It said that all your files are up to date, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm totally fine, this should work. So after I downloaded High Sierra, which this has taken a really long time, by the way, because I had to download iOS 11 on all of my devices, which didn't take that long, but now I'm trying to download it from my computer, so it's taking a little bit longer. I can't use my computer, I can't use my phone. I'm just sitting there in limbo with this brand new camera, and I'm also a daily vlogger, and I'm used to putting out content every day. But once I got this camera, I was like, look dude, let's just start shooting everything in 4K 60 frames per second, because it looks so cool. It looks so dope. It just looks so real-like. And then another thing about 4K, when you're shooting in 4K, if you want to take a photo out of the video, it's really easy to do that, because 4K, there's so many megapixels in the video, and the colors just pop, and that's one reason I love 4K. There's a lot of things you can do with 4K video versus 1080p video. So after I finished downloading High Sierra, okay, I click on the files on my computer, because before I would click on the files on my computer and none of the files will come up. Now these are the 4K 60 frames per second files, and also the 1080 240 frames per second files. Neither one of these files are opening up on my computer before. So after I downloaded High Sierra, I would click on the file and the files will open up, perfect, cool, it's open. So I go to Final Cut Pro, I'm trying to drag the files from here and put them into Final Cut Pro, and I'm like, come on, let's go. And the files are not going into Final Cut Pro. I get this little this circle with a line going through, meaning no, this is not gonna work, you gotta do something else. So I'm just getting confused now. I'm like, look, I just downloaded this, I just downloaded that, I just downloaded this. None of this is working, okay? None of this is working. So I go to iMovie, it works in iMovie. So my vlog that I made, 4 days ago, I'll put the link up above here. That vlog I made using iMovie. Now there's nothing wrong with using iMovie, except it takes a really, really long time to render the video. I'm talking about an 11-minute video or a 10-minute video. I forget how long that video was. I don't even think it was 10 minutes. I think it was maybe 7 or 8 minutes. That video took like an hour and 20 minutes to render. Okay, if I was rendering that on my iPad Pro, it would have taken maybe 8 minutes. If I was rendering the same video in Final Cut Pro, it would probably take, maybe less than 15 minutes. And the thing about Final Cut Pro, there's so many more options, there's so many more things you can do, and there's better shortcuts in Final Cut Pro. iMovie is like, it's very, very basic, but however, like I can still use it, I can get away with using it. I would rather not use iMovie, I'd rather use Final Cut Pro. So I was able to create a vlog using iMovie, but iMovie sucks. So what do? I'm like, look, this gotta work. This has to work. This is a brand new camera. This thing just came out. So I go to the Apple Store. I show them, this little pop-up that popped up on my phone whenever I tried to view the images on my phone through the GoPro. No one at the Apple Store knew. They took me to the Apple genius, like the person at the Apple Store that knows everything about the computers. He had no idea because this is a brand new camera. This whole like video format, HEVC, this is all new. A lot of people don't know about this. And then I reached out to GoPro, because GoPro actually has a 1-800 number you can call. Believe it or not, there's actually people like on the phone that can talk to you. So I'm calling up GoPro, explaining them the situation. And their English is like not that great. I mean, it's good enough that I know what they're saying, but I'm like trying to explain to them and they're like, well, yeah, this should work on your camera. Like this should completely work. And I'm telling them, well, it's not working, it's not working. Then they tell me you can use Handbrake to convert your files from HEVC to something else that they said that it would work on my computer. And I'm thinking, okay, I can do that, but me as a daily vlogger, that's a whole lot of work. A lot of times when I make vlogs, I take like maybe anywhere from 15 scenes to 100 different scenes, and I put them all together and make a 10-minute video. And you mean to tell me that you want me to take all these files and put them into Handbrake and convert all of these files so I can use them? Like, come on, this is gonna take way too long. Like, it's just not worth it. So what I'm gonna do with the GoPro 6, and this is really lame, and even if I would have used Handbrake, there's no way I could, edit anything on any iOS device. And I like editing on my iPad Pro. It's so much easier, and it's not necessarily easier to edit on an iPad Pro. You can edit in places that you can't edit on a freaking computer. Like yeah, you can edit in a place that you can't, like you gotta pull out a computer, you gotta log in, you gotta click on this app, you gotta wait till it loads, you gotta drag and drop, the computer's loading. With an iPad Pro, like I can be waiting like at a bus stop and I can just like have my backpack here, pull out my backpack, pull out my iPad, and I can just be editing like chop, 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 chop. It just runs so much faster. iPad Pro is just optimized way more than a computer, especially with like editing and stuff like that, or if you're creating music. iPad Pro is like awesome. So what I'm gonna have to do now, because I've been like literally I've been flaking big time on my vlogs. Like ever since I got this camera, like I haven't been vlogging because I've just been running into so many problems. Why don't you use your other camera, Jermaine? Well, my other camera is right here. But it's like I just got this camera. I really want to shoot with this camera, and I just haven't been shooting at all because this camera hasn't been working. So what I'm gonna do is just go back down to 4K 30 frames per second. I actually bought this camera to shoot 4K 60 frames per second. So I'm gonna have to bump it back down, and I'm gonna have to wait till there's like either some sort of update in the GoPro app so that these files will work on my like iOS device, or these files will work in Final Cut Pro. So I guess I'm just gonna be using 4K 30 frames per second, but I will say that the image quality on this new Hero 6 is so much better than my Session. This was my camera I was using for the Session, and I like the Session because it's super, super small, but dude, the image quality on this is so much better. The low light is so much better. The audio, slightly better. slightly better. I don't want to say it's the same, but I'm not going to say it's like a massive improvement, but I'm kind of disappointed in the Hero 6 just a little bit. Just it's like a little annoying when you buy something and you think you can just take it out of the box and you can just use it, but you can't. You have to, like, you know, re-download all this software. I think it's a bummer. Just got the Hero 6 and I just pulled it out of the box and I'm so happy. I'm so pumped. I'm ready to shoot with this camera. Like, I remember the day I got it, like, it was so many things I wanted to film, like, just that day because I'm a daily vlogger. But what did I do the first day I got the camera? I literally just sat in WeWork trying to figure out, like, how to use the camera, like how to use this and how to download this and download that and download this and download that and download this, and then, you know, it still doesn't work. And then I called GoPro and they're like, you should use Handbrake. And I'm like, dude, do you guys know how long Handbrake works? But anyway, I guess I'm bashing the GoPro. I don't mean to bash the GoPro. Let's talk about some other things about the GoPro. One thing I have noticed that I really like about the GoPro is these file sizes are really small. Like I said, I mainly shoot everything in 4K, and usually when I create like a 10-minute 4K video, I can get the files down to like maybe 2-3 gigs. The other day when I made my first 4K 60 frames per second video with the Hero 6, I got the file size down to like 1.5 gigs. Like I say, it wasn't a very, very long vlog, but at the same time, it was 4K 60 frames per second, you know? But yeah, I really like the GoPro. I just really love how small they are. You can clip them anywhere. You can clip them on a backpack. You can clip them on a helmet. You can, you know, I even see guys like literally wearing a GoPro like here, like, you know, as they're skateboarding, like it's on their ankle. Like, how cool is that? You know, like, it's just a different angle, you know, you can get that you really can't get with a point and shoot or a non-action camera. I'm all about the action cameras right now because action cameras are so much smaller and so much lighter. And I've been doing a lot of traveling for the past couple months, and my backpack has been heavy with camera equipment because I need this microphone and I need this tripod, I need an extra battery, and I need this charger, and I need this charger, and I need this, and I need that, and I need this, and I need that. And one thing about the GoPro 6, I really hope that the GoPro 6 can like help simplify my life. So instead of taking like a DSLR, I can just take like a camera this size. Instead of taking a heavy tripod, I can take a smaller GorillaPod, and I can like easily stick it in my backpack, and the GorillaPod is a lot lighter, and there's more things I can do with a GorillaPod versus a tripod. Like, I don't know, I'm just really hope that GoPro like fixes this software update. But if you are looking to buy a GoPro Hero 6, if you're not all about the super high frame rates, I believe you're gonna really like this camera. Like, I really like this camera so far. It's by far my favorite GoPro that I bought from GoPro. But anyway, I'm not gonna hold GoPro on the fence just because of that one situation. I'll cross my fingers they can fix this problem really soon with some software update. That would be really awesome. But anyway, I'm gonna keep this video short. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully I was able to provide some info and help somebody out there with a GoPro purchase, or I don't know, maybe you just want to get the GoPro 5 because it's a little bit cheaper and it just works right out of the box and you don't have to do all these software updates and all this. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, yo.